Hi there, I'm Beth Ramsden. Today I wanted to make something from this little cardigan. It's an All Saints brand, cotton wool cashmere blend, and my daughter used to wear it when she was 2 years old. It's made from a beautiful fine knit fabric. It has nice finished edges and this ribbed section that I would like to include somewhere in the design. Here are the sketches I've done. I thought maybe I'd make a Blythe sized jumper or cardigan. I considered batwing style arms, maybe a high collar cardigan, but I wanted to go with this design, with little buttons and an embroidered detail on the chest and using the ribbing here around the waist. I'm also considering an embroidered twisted chain stitch detail, maybe around the opening and the cuffs. Okay, here's my pattern pieces. I used another self-drafted top as a starting point, and then I altered it to better fit this idea. I've cut this as one piece, but I'll actually cut and join 3 different pieces to make it, sewing them together at the shoulders. I will position my pattern pieces to make use of this ribbed bit. I've drawn a guideline here to match it to the ribbing line. Now I draw around the pattern, adding 5mm to these shoulders. I will cut out 2 sleeves as well. I'm going to use fabric glue to treat the edges before I cut. It should remain flexible and not fray. I've used a basic glue spreader to apply it, and now I'll wait until it's fully dry. Here they are, trimmed neatly to the lines, and I've cut out some cuffs as well. I'm using that neatly finished edge from the original cardigan, and they're about 3 by 1.5 centimeters. Now I'll sew together the front and back pieces at the shoulders, right sides facing. Here it is done. Now I'll use a running stitch to gather up the end of the sleeve before I sew on the cuff, right sides facing again. Here they are both sewn on. You could trim this excess seam allowance or fold it upwards and top stitch. Now, I'll pin and sew in the sleeves to the armholes. There, all done. Looking good. Next, I'll finish off this front opening. I've used the original cardigan's finished edge again, and I've cut a 1.5 centimeter wide bit to fit end to end around this front opening. I align them with right sides facing and sew it on. Now I fold right sides facing along the arms and sew up the sides, from cuff past the armpit to the lower hem. Repeat this for both sides. That's done. Now I can turn the sleeves right side out. Okay. Finally, I need a finished edge strip for the lower hem. I cut a length, it's around 10.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters again. It's a little shorter than the overall hem length. Now I line them up right sides facing and sew it on. Here that is, sewn on, and the seam allowance is folded up and top stitched to keep it nice and flat. Now, I need some buttons and the chest embroidery. Here's my buttons, and I've just remembered these little logo printed ribbons that I have. Here I've cut one out so I can sew it into the back. Next, I will practice embroidering some of these ideas onto a scrap piece of fabric. Okay, here are my options. I think the bright red roses are too dark for this nice neutral cardigan. The blue and the green French knots are a bit too much, but I do like the pink and blue ones with this paler green for the leaves. I tried out the twisted chain stitch too, but I didn't really like it for this project, maybe next time. Okay, now it's time to embroider my final design. I'm using French knots and some straight stitches in groups of 3 for the leaves. Now, before it's finished, I'm going to wash it. The fabric glue edges are pretty stiff, so next time I will dilute it a little bit if I'm treating the raw edges. I'll wait until it's dry and then I'll sew on this little label because it's not washable. And there you go! I'm so pleased with how it came out. So happy to be able to reuse this lovely fine knit material. It'll remind me of my little daughter in her cardigan when I see it too. Now tell me, do you practice frugal crafting? Do you save or seek out clothes to be repurposed for your dolls? I think it is so nice to be able to extend the life of fabrics with a story or a memory. And it's handy to be able to reuse some nicely finished edging or areas of interest as well. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried this sort of thing and what you think of my little cardigan. Thank you for watching to the end. I do have a special video coming out next week, so look out for that. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing if you aren't yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!